The biggest moment of humiliation in the history of bold predictions on my end is forthcoming. That is the tease. Let me give you the 5 bold predictions we're going back to. These were your predictions from August, and some of them crashed and burned, but there was one that I gave a 9.5 on the boldness scale, and I'll give you the quotes. I deserve everything I'm about to put myself through. But the first bold prediction was Hunter saying Arkansas is going to finish 10 and 2 or better. And this was never going to happen. Schedule. That's all I kept saying. I think I said it 3 times then. I'm going to say it 3 more times now. They had the entire SEC slate. Then they had a trip to Brigham Young, and they had Liberty on the schedule. And it was borderline a dereliction of all that is holy against the players and coaches up there, because there's no real shot against this. Quite frankly, 7-6 is not even a disaster against the schedule they played. And here's the thing about what Hunter predicted. Consider what Arkansas was in 2021. A great success story, right? They went 8-4 in the regular season. So we're asking them to do 2 games better than they did in their successful year, and we're asking them to do it against that schedule. That's just never going to happen. So I put an 8 on that, and even with the Liberty Bowl win, they went 7-6. So that was not in the cards. Next up, this isn't it either, but it's coming. We had a prediction about Power 5 champs here. Austin said there will be a Power 5 conference champ that's currently at 8.5 wins or less in the over-under betting line. And this happened. It did indeed happen. We did have a Power 5 conference champ, Kansas State, of course, because their preseason over-under win total was 6.5, and they just go on and win the Big 12. A very Big 12 thing to have happened. The reason why I put a 5 on this, the reason why I absolutely thought it was going to happen, was because in 2021, it happened 4 out of the 5 conferences. Think about what I just said. That's how crazy the Renaissance year was in 2021. 4 out of 5 Power 5 conference champs had preseason win totals of under 8.5 wins. Pretty wild. And so I looked at this prediction, and I thought it was going to happen. I thought the ACC was the best shot, because here's the thing. Clemson was the only team in the ACC that had a preseason win total above 8.5. So my thinking was, if it's anyone other than Clemson, this prediction hit. Well, it turns out it wasn't anyone other than Clemson, but the prediction still did hit. And with that in mind, we begin my tour of shame here. Colin, let's just show him the prediction, and then I'll tell you what I said about it. Adam said, Texas A&M is going to struggle. They will barely become bowl eligible. My response was catastrophic. I put a 9.5 on this. I laughed at Adam, who in reality was too kind to Texas A&M. Adam himself was not willing to predict in reality how bad it turned out to be. But I put a 9.5 on this. In other words, I said this is as bold a prediction as we have gotten. There is no way that team is about to miss a bowl game or border on missing a bowl game. And Jesse provided me with the exact quote I used. Quote, Texas A&M has a disaster-proof roster. Josh Pate, August 2022. What have I done to myself? You've heard of glass ceilings before, and we're always trying to break through them, and it's a noble cause. You don't think about the glass floor so much, though. Texas A&M did, and they took a few sticks of dynamite, and they blew right through that thing. And whatever you thought was worst-case scenario, Jimbo Fisher said, watch this. And they proceeded to miss a bowl game. They didn't struggle to make one. They missed it. And they beat LSU at the end of the year, and that still wasn't good enough. So Texas A&M made fools out of a lot of you, a lot of us, because a lot of us looked at them and said, a bad year would be 7 wins, right? That's what I thought. I thought 7 wins would be a bad year. And no, 7 losses was a bad year. So that one went really sideways. That is by far the highest boldness rating I put on a prediction that actually came true, as far as we can tell. Next up, it's depressing. Sammy said, for the second time ever, we will have 5 different outright Power 5 conference champs than last year. So all 5 of the conferences going to have a different champ than they did last year. I put a 7 on this. He went 3 for 5. SEC, yes, new conference champ. ACC, yes, new conference champ. Big 12, yep, got a new conference champ. Pac-12, same old Utah. Big 10, same old Michigan. And so that's that. I thought that this was only a 7, and I thought it was very possible because here's the thing. If Bama won the SEC, that would have qualified for this. If Clemson won the ACC, which they did, that would fit this description. If Ohio State won the Big 10, that would fit this description. Those were the 3 preseason favorites in those conferences. I needed Texas or Oklahoma to win the Big 12, and this would have fit the prediction. Those were the preseason 1-2s in that conference. I needed USC or Oregon to win the Pac-12, and that would have fit this description. So basically, if nothing more than chalk would have held, the prediction would have come true, but chalk did not hold. It's a funny thing when you start playing those games, not on paper, but on real football fields. Lastly, Rand said Auburn will have 2 1,000-yard rushers again for the first time since 2017. I put a 9.98 on this. I thought it was unfathomable. It didn't happen, but it wasn't quite as unfathomable as I thought. Now, Tank Bigsby, I had no problem picturing him topping 1,000. He almost did. He had 970. That wasn't where my problem was. Oh, it's like I got a hiccup streak going on the show. It's crazy. Robbie Ashford was not necessarily the guy I had in mind when I pictured Auburn's second leading rusher. I was thinking Jarquez Hunter, who had 668 yards, but Robbie Ashford had 710. So the prediction was 2 guys over 1,000. We got 970, 710, and 668. So you had 3 pretty good rushers. They all were over 4.6 yards per carry, I think. It's just we never got one single one over the 1,000-yard mark. I will be haunted for days, possibly weeks, by that Texas A&M prediction. I hope the rest of you are happy. I hope it was fun for you because it wasn't fun for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.